So on Thursday Night Football against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans quarterback Marcus Mariota was not impressive. And, he wasn't awful, but I will say this. He got shown up by the Jaguars' rookie quarterback and 6th-round draft pick Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew was the star last night. Marcus Mariota was quiet. And that's not, a pun on his personality because he's a quiet guy. I kept waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, Marcus impressed me, and it never happened. His stats were average. They were not awful. They were fine. He was 20 for 40 passing. That's a 57% completion percentage. That's certainly far better than I could ever do in the NFL. That's not awful, but that's not great. He had no touchdowns, no interceptions. He held onto the ball way too long. He was sacked 9 times. He missed a number of easy throws, and that's unacceptable for an NFL quarterback. He missed a bubble screen. It's like, what the heck? You can't do that. He had a great throw down the right sideline to Adam Humphries on a wheel route. I was like, wow, that's a great ball. I know, the guy was wide open, but still, beautiful throw. And then the very next play, just completely airmailed a bubble screen. I was like, how? I don't understand. And it wasn't Marcus Mariota's. Is it Mariota or Mariota? I'm going to say Mariota. If you're mad at me, I'm sorry. I picked one. I say his name. If I'm wrong, I acknowledge I'm wrong, whatever. It wasn't Marcus's worst performance. Notice what I did there. It wasn't his worst performance of his career. It wasn't. He wasn't atrocious. But he also wasn't good enough. He wasn't. So many times when I've watched the guy play football over and over and over and over and over again, I walk away thinking, yeah, that wasn't impressive. And that wasn't good enough. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't good enough. And I've thought that so many times throughout the course of his career. And after enough times, you got to give up. This is his 5th year in the NFL. We're waiting, and we're waiting. And if he was ever going to pop and be fantastic, it would have happened by now. It's year 5. It's time for it to happen, and it's still not happening. You also got to acknowledge Marcus Mariota's never played 16 games in an entire season of his career. He's never played all 16 games of a season ever. In 2017, he had more interceptions than he had touchdowns. More interceptions than he had touchdowns. That's not good. Last year in 2018, in 14 games, he had 11 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He's not producing at a high enough level. He's not good enough. He's average. He's fine, but you need to expect more, and we're not getting more from Marcus Mariota, and it's time. If you're a Titans fan, I bet you're furious. I'd be very frustrated. You're like, we keep waiting for this guy to pop, and it's just not happening. You know who was on the sidelines last night while the Tennessee Titans offense struggled and while they lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars? You know who was sitting there watching just quietly, full uniform on the sideline? Former Dolphins quarterback Ryan Tannehill was on the sidelines for the Tennessee Titans. And he's a fine quarterback. I don't particularly like him. But things were so bad last night. So mundane. That's a great word. Mundane. Not atrocious, but not great. Just very mundane for the Titans offense. They were so mundane that I thought to myself last night, man, should the Titans play Ryan Tannehill next week instead of Marcus Mariota? Should they? That's a horrifying thought. That's where my head went. It's so bad that we're there. That I know I'm a bit outside the box. I probably arrive at things like that a lot faster than the Titans will, but 4 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, if the Titans still are not seeing a high level of production from Marcus Mariota, he's still just mundane and average, they might just go, look, we're tired of losing games. We need better. We know Ryan Tannehill can be at least average. We're going to take a chance with Ryan Tannehill. That's a real possibility. I truly wonder, are Marcus Mariota's days numbered? Are they? Sad. He's a great guy. He seems like a wonderful human being. but his quarterback ability, it's not where it needs to be. That game was winnable last night if he plays better, and he didn't. Again, great wheel route, and then the very next play he misses a bubble screen, and you're like, this is so weirdly inconsistent. And I just want to remind you guys, last night, for about the 15th time that I've watched Marcus Mariota play football, and it seems like every time I play, I think, man, that's unimpressive, and that's just not good enough. And after a while, it's going to be time to move on. And Marcus Mariota, he's not awful. He's not. I get why some people, if you want to make a case and defend him, you can, because he's not the worst quarterback in the NFL. But he's not a franchise. He's not good enough where you need to be. We keep waiting for him to pop, and it's not happening. And I personally find myself giving up on him. It's sad, but that's where I'm at, and that's how it's going to be. My name is Zach Schomler. This is my podcast, Strong Opinion Sports. It is my favorite thing in the entire world. And you may not know, my dream when I graduate college eventually is to do this show as my full-time job. Now, I also want to be very upfront and honest about my plan and what's going on. I recently monetized my YouTube channel. What that means is that some of my videos make money through ad revenue. Now, it's fewer than you think. A lot of my videos get claimed. But in the past, I've received donations through the form of PayPal and Patreon.com. PayPal.me/Zach Schomler, Patreon.com/Zach Schomler. So because I'm making ad revenue, it felt weird to just get donations. I wanted to give something back to the people who support me on Patreon. So now there's a reward. If you support me on Patreon, you can submit questions at the dollar level or above. You just need to give $1 a month. If you do that, you can submit questions to a pool of questions where I look at. I'll read all the questions on Patreon, and I pick the top couple every episode and read them and answer them on a segment called Ask Zach. Pick the top couple questions and answer them at the end of every single episode. Now, that's for people who want to support me with money. If you have no money to give, I totally understand. I've actually never supported anybody on Patreon. I feel kind of weird about that. I'm a broke college kid myself. I totally understand. But if you believe in me and if you believe in my dream and still want to help me, one thing you can do is help me grow by telling your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow by telling your friends about Strong Opinion Sports. Guys, thank you so much. I know that was a long spiel. I really appreciate it, and hope you have a great day.